What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have an Icarus Week 127 update. This week they've added a Foliage respawn option, which respawns fibrous items in Icarus and helps a little bit with the performance. They've also added some new items, tons of new medicines, a charging station, a new lightning rod, all kinds of changes. Let's get into it, shall we? Icarus Week 127 Foliage Regeneration. This week they are improving late game hitching and adding a bunch more of their Project Clinic to the game, which means that they're adding a bunch more improvements, tweaks, and content additions. They are also working on performance improvements this week, focusing on the late game stutters and looking at the root cause of some of those instances. Next week they hope to improve late game performance and returning to their regular update cadence, so jump in and have a read. Notable improvements are as follows. You no longer have collision with small foliage or small trees. It has been removed so you can actually not get stuck on those anymore. Yay! They fixed a stutter that was happening when you open the crafting menus. They improved first and third person interactions with objects placed in the light slot when the object is emitting light. The Arctic Moa can now use all saddles in the Creature Comforts DLC. They are adding stats for digging yield on shovels and properly scaled shovel resource yield in itemware. You get more dirt with the shovel now, and the crystal quest is now updated to the item changes. So let's cover a few of these things. So the first thing we're going to show you is going through small objects like this. You can now go through these trees and stuff like that, so you no longer get stuck in collision with these. Same thing with these smaller trees as well, like these. So we no longer get stuck on those. You can just kind of walk straight through those. So this stuff right here, no problem at all for you to walk through. Also, the Arctic Moa can now wear all the saddles, as mentioned before. So now you can, instead of just having to put on the basic saddle on your Arctic Moa, you can put on all the saddles now. That was from the DLC. And here's the Arctic Explorer one. So yes. So they added stats to shovels as well, and we have the wooden shovel and the regular shovel here. The regular shovel, or the iron shovel, which is what I like to call it, will give you negative 25% stamina consumed by tool actions, and will give you plus 33% yield from digging, as the regular wooden shovel does not have any additional stats currently. So let's talk a little bit about yield. We're going to use the regular or wooden shovel first, and it looks like we got about 7 for that one right there. About 5, 4, and 7 again. So anywhere from 4 to 7, it looks like. Dirt per dig. And of course, with the good shovel and the iron shovel, we're going to left click and see how much it gets. So about 7 on that one. 10 on that one. 10 as well. So they also increased the amount of dirt you get as well. We got quite a bit of dirt from just demonstrating that. Almost 100 dirt. This week we also got some late game hitch improvements. We're going to skim over this and kind of tell you what that means. So they were saying that basically when your bases got bigger, you started moving around faster, you started getting more hitches or stutters in larger bases or older prospects, and they've investigated to figure out a few key culprits. And they were talking about how you modify an object like a tree or cut it down or something like that. And what we'll do is it'll load and unload those constantly when you modify trees and the environment. Burning and burnt trees were a major culprit of those loading hitches, which I knew all this time. Basically, every time we chop down burnt trees if they were around us. So they stopped recording burnt trees in a burnt state, and now every time you reload the save, all trees will load back in irrespective of their burnt status, and items like foliage will not check and see whether they have been harvested previously or not. And it does affect balance, absolutely, but they felt like addressing the stuttering was a higher priority. And they said that they're sure some prospectors are used to the area immediately surrounding their base getting cleared out of bushes and resources and losing some of that natural look. They have added a fiber foliage respawn setting in the game, which can be accessed in the settings menu if you're hosting the game yourself, or for dedicated servers, you can set the command line in the server setting INI. This setting will restore all fibrous plants in the world to fully grown plants that can be collected again when you revisit them later, which means less save data and less area reloading, such as fiber, but it doesn't actually affect fruits or veggies. And they say that even if you do this, it will not restore a small area around your base where you've placed your buildings. Basically, that is to block stuff from spawning in your buildings. So we need to show you how to do this on your game and on dedicated servers. In game, if you were to hit escape and go over to gameplay, at the very bottom of general, you're going to notice a new option, which is fiber foliage respawn. If you have this on, it means that you will respawn fiber and foliage whenever you restart the game or start hosting a game. This is only for games that are hosted by a player, like peer-to-peer and stuff like that. So with it on, we notice that all the little fibers or plants around our base here has respawned every single time that we reload. So if we have that on, those are going to respawn. Let's show you that. We're going to actually turn that back on just for demonstration purposes and then reload the game. And once we reload into the game, we're going to notice that all the fibers are back. They've all pretty much respawned. And you can sit there and gather all these fibers again. Now we've gathered those 3. Let's turn it off and reload. Turning it to off, which is probably where I'm going to keep mine at for now. So I don't have to sit here and get all these fibers out of this path all the time, which is kind of annoying. But we're going to reload the game, return to character, load back into the prospect. And we load in and we see that those have not respawned. So if you don't want that to respawn every single time that you load in, make sure that you go into settings and go to gameplay and make sure you turn off fiber foliage respawn if you don't want those little bushes to respawn every single time. If you do, and you want them to keep respawning, which supposedly will have better performance implications, then you want to have it on, like so. So whenever you're in your settings for your dedicated server, we have this with an Atrado, and we are going to show you how to, basically put it in there with dedicated servers. So we could do it like on the last line. That's no problem at all. You need to go to your server setting INI, and usually that is in configuration files or configuration profiles on most server hosts with dedicated servers. And all you gotta do is copy and paste that last line that was in the patch notes, which is open world fiber respawn equal true, and then you could save it, and that will respawn fiber on the dedicated server. So that's all you have to do with that for dedicated server. And you can add it on the last one, or you can hit enter, put it in here, whichever place you want to put it in, and then just hit save and save your configuration. So that's how you do it on dedicated servers and self-hosted games. We continue this update with the Project Clinic Part 2 highlights, and they're going to go over what they have changed and added to the game, which is new items and some additional changes. And they made medicines more important in the game. And there's several new items that they've created. They've created vitamins, which is crafted at the chemistry bench, which provides against frostbite, heat stroke, hyperthermia, and hypothermia. Survival kits can now be crafted at the medicine bench and allows for curing wounds, deep wounds, frostbite, and overheating. So basically you can combine all those into one item now. And now we also have the Zygo Quick Fix kits. They can be purchased from the workshop and heal most of any injury, but will not provide any resistances. Good emergency item to have on hand. We also get a new medical bag that can be crafted at the textiles bench and allows you to store all your new medicines in one place without taking up any extra inventory slots. Thank you. In addition to the new items, they are also doing some balance fixes on vaccines that can be purchased from the workshop. Prices and durations have been altered to better fit the current state of the game. We also get the Platinum Lightning Rod, and it is a new item that can be added to your base to keep you from getting struck by lightning or your trees and stuff. It also, on strike, will charge up your batteries and provide a quick burst of power to your network. So now you can protect your base and receive a huge influx of power at the same time. They've added a new dirt corner piece, and it is the same as the other dirt pieces. Basically, if it's not placed on the terrain, it will break instantly. Dirt is also now a recipe of some other items such as crop plots and fertilizers. This week we also get the charging station. This means that lights or flashlights are no longer infinite and must be recharged at the charging station. When you first craft a flashlight, it will have a full charge and then will run out and need to be charged at the charging station now. And they say they have many other devices that they plan to use with this system. So a new bench. They've also nerfed farming carts. They've actually reduced the amount of water that it takes to water with the watering cart because it was way too much. And another small change is that they made the seeding cart now require dirt for dirt mounds to be created alongside the seeds being planted. So now you have to put dirt and seeds for it to be planted. And we'll go over all those in game. So let's talk about the unlock, shall we? Tier 1, all the way at the very end, we now have the dirt corner, and it is 20 dirt for that. And over in Tier 2, underneath all the beehive stuff, you're going to look down here and see the medical satchel, and it requires rope, leather, and iron nails to craft, made at the textiles bench. In Tier 3, we get the survival kit, which is right above the buckshot and guns, right there, in Tier 3. And it is made with 2 platinum weave at the medicine bench. And finally, in tier 4, we have the platinum lightning rod right here underneath the flow meter. And it requires platinum ingots, copper wire, and electronics. And it will save your structures from fiery destruction and give you some power. You also have the charging station here as well, next to the flashlight. It requires electronics, concrete, steel screw, glass, aluminum ingots, and copper wire. It must be crafted at the fabricator. So far, this is just to recharge your flashlight. Down the way, we actually have some new lights, it looks like, too. Single wall light and single ceiling light. Seems like new lights in the game. We'll also check the frosted and see if those work now as well. And towards the end, at the chemistry bench, you're going to notice vitamins off from it. And it requires organic resin, lily, charcoal, reed flour, and salt at the chemistry bench to make that. Those give you negative 20% chance to resist basic wound, plus 10% chance to resist poison, hypothermia, hypothermia, frostbite, and heat stroke. And that's it for all the unlocks. Let's go over shortly the new items that you can make. The survival kit, we're going to make it in the chemistry bench here. And then we also have the vitamins, which we can make as well. They're pretty straightforward, honestly. Basically, they just give you the resistances, the wounds, and all that good stuff for vitamins, so we're not going to really show that. But we will show you shortly the survival kit in action, and it is crafted here at the chemistry bench, or actually in this little new bench that they made, the medicine bench. You can craft it there as well. And the survival kit does stack to 10, so you can have 10 of them in your inventory or in your satchel at a time. So we were able to get us a little bit of a scratch here, and all you got to do is just right-click it and consume, and it will take care of anything that's on you. As far as basic wounds, deep wounds, which is like bears or crocodiles, and frostbite, heat stroke, or heat exhaustion. They'll actually save you a few slots in the end. But they are quite expensive with platinum weave, but if you have a platinum deep vein, maybe not so bad. And in the workshop, underneath consumables, you're going to notice the new Zygo Quick Fix Bundle. Basically, it requires 200 Ren and 50 exotics to unlock, and then you need to craft it for a additional 50 Ren per bundle, which isn't, it's really actually quite cheap. We'll bring a few of those down here. There's 10 of them coming. We'll see if they stack, but it looks like they don't. So yeah, they can be pulled down, and they pretty much heal anything. They basically heal most wounds, poisons, bacteria, parasitic infections. So right-clicking and consuming will give you a stack of 5 of these quick fix kits for only 50 Ren, and they only stack to 5, it looks like. It's pretty funny that it says down here, it says heals almost anything. Also, just going over real quick the workshop changes as far as what they do. Let's go over the poison vaccine. This is one I use quite often, that and the antibacterial. So the stage 1 poison vaccine costs 200 Ren to research and 50 to craft, and it only lasts for 1,800 seconds when you bring those down. The stage 2 vaccine is 300 Ren and 25 exotics to research and 100 to craft, and lasts for 7,200 seconds. And the stage 3, which is 500 Ren and 150 exotics to research and 150 Ren and 25 exotics to craft, which I think is cheaper, and it lasts for 21,600 seconds, which is quite a long time. And as a matter of fact, it looks like all those are exactly the same as far as how long they last and how much they cost. So they pretty much made all the vaccines exactly the same cost. We also have the medical satchel, which is made in the textiles or better. We are making ours in the electric here, but it requires rope, leather, and iron nails to craft, and this will store all your new medical items. With a medical satchel, all you have to do is right-click it and open inventory, and it gives you an additional 12 slots for you to put medical items into that bag. So we're going to throw all of our medical items into that bag there. And just to kind of show you. Also, a quick note on the Zygo Quick Fix Bundle, you can actually put it into the bag, the unbundled, but you could put the bundle in there. So you could take and unbundle it, and then you're able to put it into the slot there. And then it's just one item. You just see that it can be right-click, and you can open your inventory, and you'll have 12 additional items in there. And all that won't be taking up your space in your inventory now. You can also hover over it, and it will show you what items are inside of the satchel as well, which is pretty neat. You are a real doctor now, it says. Next up, we're going to show you the fabricator crafted items, which is the platinum lightning rod, the charging station, the single wall light, single ceiling light, the frosted ceiling light, and the frosted wall light. We're going to show you all those real quick. They're all crafted here at the bottom of the fabricator. We've got the frosted light here. We also got the platinum light, which requires platinum, ingots, copper, and electronics, as well as the charging station with all those mats there as well. The new single wall light and stuff like that is just iron ingots, glass, and copper wire. First off, this is the platinum lightning rod that if it constructs, it gives you just a little bit of electricity to your power, your base, charges of your batteries and stuff like that. This is what it looks like, and it connects directly to your line like so. And it's just a platinum lightning rod. So that's what it looks like. If we get a storm during recording, we'll try to show you it getting struck. I'm going to show you the new lights real quick. They're pretty basic, but the frosted wall light, this is what it looks like right here. And we have the single ceiling light right here as well as the frosted ceiling light. So they're just like a frosted bulb is what it is. And then, of course, we have the... I can't actually show... I guess I can show you it. But this is the wall light, which only orients, it looks like, on the ceiling currently. Of course it's bugged. It says single wall light. So it's not really a wall light. It's a ceiling, another ceiling light. Basically, it looks just like the single ceiling light. Or that was supposed to be on the wall, and apparently you can't actually place it on the wall. So it's probably bugged. And finally, we have the charging station. And the charging station is this little device right here. You can hold the toggle on or off, and basically all you have to do is take your ran down flashlight and just throw it in there. And it'll take some time to charge up. It does require 500 power from your network for it to charge up a flashlight. And it looks like it's quite slow. It also does say outside. I don't know why it says outside, but it's probably just a bug. Most of the new things added in the game do have bugs. I'm going to guess that it's not meant to be outside. I would only imagine that a device that you hook up into your power and recharge things could be outside or inside, probably. I don't know what the devs are doing. Yeah, it says outside, but it still works. Looks like maybe after about a minute, it dings, and now you have your flashlight that now has a charge to it. Tell me what you think about that in the comments down below. Should they have just left it alone? We're also going to show you just real briefly that crop plots now require dirt. That includes the hydroponic, the iron, and the wood crop plot. 20 for the wood, 20 for the iron, and 20 for the hydroponic. So now to make basic fertilizer, you need to have 10 dirt and 10 spoiled plant just to make basic fertilizer in the wood composter. They've still yet to fix dogs attacking stuff and attacking walls and just setting on the side of objects like that. They've been attacking this whole time I've been in here. And that was a paid DLC. Oh, there he is. Yeah, they just get stuck on stuff a lot. Also on the side note that you don't need dirt to make the high quality fertilizer and the growth fertilizer. You just need the basic fertilizer, which requires the basic dirt. So we got our little Brokefullo here, and we're going to go ahead and feed them up, and so we can go ahead and do some of the cart stuff. So I'm just not going to ask anymore. So we're going to go ahead and toggle this cart on. We're going to throw some dirt in there. So you need dirt to make the dirt mounds. And of course you need seed to just seed stuff. And we're going to hit X and toggle this device on. Very nice. There we go. And we're going to have the Brokefullo follow us here. And it's going to plant dirt mounds and seeds for us. Very nice. Come on, Brokefullo. And it looks like we might be out. Yep, we are. So it used up all the dirt and the seeds we had in its inventory. So now you need dirt to plant with the seeding cart. We'll just let you stay there. Apparently I've been farming wrong this whole time. And we got a fully loaded up water container. We're going to take it up there and water and show you that it's not as bad as it was. We're going to toggle the device on here, and we're going to drag them over top of all these crop plots here. These dirt mounds, and it's going to water them. Very nice. Water most of them, at least. Alrighty. Looks like we watered all those that we did, and we only used about... Yeah, actually, we only used about 5 liters of water, which is really nice. So that will last a lot longer than it did before. And next week, they're going to be back to normal. They have finally concluded their Project Clinic, which I think they took seriously, adding all kinds of medicine items. They'll be continuing their regularly scheduled updates starting next week. They say that Project Clinic has given them an incredible amount of improvements and tweaks, and they'll be returning to a more balanced cadence starting next week, with smaller weekly content updates, while working on smaller changes in the background, the next of which they hope to announce soon. Next week, they're also going to be working on hitching improvements part 2, and that's rocks. They were hoping to include this into this week's update, but had to pull it at last minute. Looks like we may have where rocks respawn around the map, and that will reduce the amount of hitching. We got the change log. We're going to skim over the new content section, see if there's anything we missed. We actually didn't show you the new ramp. Let's show you that. Of course, it's crafted in your inventory, and it is the dirt corner here for 20. We didn't actually show it, but we'll set it up and show it. And that is kind of what it looks like right there. It's just basically, it's a dirt corner, and it could be used to corner in some stairs, kind of like so. You could corner in the stairs like that. Looks like they did actually have the charge rate about where it probably needed to be, but they reduced it. They also added the flat dough recipe to the kitchen bench tier 3. Really it for the new section. Let's check out the fixed section and skim over it. You also have to be close to creatures to be able to use medicine on them now. And thank God drone explosions won't instantly kill your tames if they're near it. They increased the overflow bag item count to factor extra pockets, alterations, ensuring no items are lost on the largest inventories. And you can now place the wood burner underneath roofs, and it won't set you on fire. And I noticed this last week, but I didn't actually say anything, but it did have a fuel slot, the material processor that has been removed. Looks like they may have made an adjustment to how heavy the potbelly stove and wood burner are. Oh, I'm sorry, and the fireplace as well. They probably should have known better to begin with. 10,000 units of water per dirt mound. Now it's to 100. Oh, this is interesting. So the seeding cart will also just place seeds into holes if they're there already, instead of just making a dirt mound itself. And finally, in the future content section, let's see if there's anything new there. Looks like they added the art assets for the tier 3 and tier 4 prime belaying station. So it looks like we're getting new benches again. So they reduced the amount of benches we needed and then added several new benches. It looks like we're getting a glass pillar frame, and it looks like they're talking about spiders. And that's it for this change log. And I guess it's that time again. Our 4th iteration of the build series, where we display your bases on Icarus. We will begin recording on the 31st of this month, so pretty much at the end of this month, we'll begin recording for this. We will not record before then, but we will record from the 31st to the 7th of June. So we were recording a whole week there, and this is going to give everybody plenty enough time to get their bases where they want them to be. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be looking forward to recording your bases. If you don't know what build is, basically it's where we go into your outposts or open worlds or whatever you want to display, servers, it's up to you really. And we record all of your base builds and put them on a YouTube video with full credit. So if you're interested in showing off some of the things that you've built in Icarus and would like to show us and the world, let us know, and we will be more than interested to start recording on the 31st of May. We'll also make announcements on our Discord and on the channel as well. And this is the very first time we're mentioning it, so just kind of give you a heads up. Build 4.0 is coming. And we want to thank the late night crew: KHX, Sergio, Wolfie, Sandy, Silver, John, Rodnob, EMC2, Aaron, Steady Bob, Jim K72, Kristen, Jaybird, Fubar, Chris, Sky Reaper 1, Sanchez, MTZ Gaming, Valiant, Alpha Tanker, Fabio, Hagar, Jason, Micah, Tyler, Fredneck, Teddy, Darkside, Lizard on a Stick, William Grant, Luis Felipe, Gomes, and Booper Rentals. Thank you so much for being part of the late night crew and for being a member. And thank you to our supporters as well. Don't forget, if you want to be a member yourself and join the Late Night Crew or the Late Night Crew supporters, which is cheaper to do so, you can hit join. And when you hit join, it'll play a nice little video. Hello, welcome to our membership page, explaining the memberships. And we do have 2 of them. We have the Late Night Crew Supporter, which is $1.99 per month, and the Late Night Crew Membership, which is $4.99 a month. You get everything with the Late Night Crew Supporter in the Late Night Crew Membership as well. You get special emotes, you get to support our work, and get behind-the-scenes videos. We do have special videos just for members on YouTube. And with the Late Night Crew Membership, you also get a shout-out like we just did for our members on update videos. Any update video, doesn't have to be just for Icarus. You get priority reply to comments, and you're a rock star in our opinion. It is a $4.99 recurring payment, and you can cancel at any time. So if you like what we're doing here at Late Night Stream and you want to support us, this is one way to do so. You can also go straight to the homepage and click on more links here and support us on Cash App and see our other socials, which we don't have many, but... And that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Subscribing will give you weekly Icarus update videos and content videos whenever those come out as well. And hopefully, we'll see you next time. Peace.